Okay, I have some potentially good news. All this crap that you see on here, this looks like this is like aluminum corrosion, where there was moisture in here and it corroded on the piston. And the cylinder didn't really get that full of water. None of them did. But you see right here especially, it's really got a spot right there. And that, you see I've been working over that with my scraper carefully. And over here also, it's kind of, it dries out and it turns white. So I'm hoping that there's a chance that that is mainly what that is, and that can come off there if I use the right sort of kind of product chemical to eat at that without eating the piston up. Then I may be able to just clean those cylinders up enough to get this thing to break free with it right here. I'm not going to run it like this. I'm just saying to get it freed up. So let's give it a shot. Alright, here's my plan. I got my good old Rust-Oleum rust dissolver. This is the same thing as Vapor Rust generally there, and I've poured just about all I had left in these 3 cylinders that are so icky. So you can see down in there. Can't really see it on the camera, I'm sure, but I can see when I'm looking at it with a light by my own eye and not through the camera. I can see that there's a little stuff breaking loose and floating up, so we'll see if that does anything for it. I've got a lot of use out of this rust dissolver already, so it ain't gonna break my heart if it doesn't work, but we'll just see what it'll do for that. This stuff I made sure and looked on the back of it, and it's safe for use on aluminum, so it won't eat the pistons up, because I'm 100% sure those are just regular old aluminum pistons. They always are. So alright, we'll let this sit maybe overnight and come back to this in the morning and see what we got. Okay, are you guys ready for some potentially very good news? It turns out that my experiment with the rust eater down in these cylinders was a resounding success. I'm glad to tell you. So check this out. I've just cleaned these 2 cylinders out. I've left one for comparison. I've cleaned the 2 cylinders out here that I had this stuff in. I put it in yesterday afternoon, about 24 hours ago. Let's take a look. Now what you see right there, that light colored stain, that is where it was rusted and corroded over, and that's all gone now. As a matter of fact, if I take my hand and rub around in there, it's totally smooth. Same for this one. So I feel that there's no discernible corrosion on it. Now that doesn't mean there's not still pits and stuff in it, possibly. I just can't look that close right now with my available technology, but it cleaned them right up. And I left this one over here as an example, a comparison. You can see how that stuff did in 24 hours. It ate all that junk up, and probably not going to be able to manipulate all this together. Let's see. Come on now. Well, let's do the best we can. Get my finger out of the way. Anyway, a little bit of ambient light here. If I take this and take my finger, this is kind of a slurry there, but I saved the rest of it up here. I'm going to reuse that. It's all nice and ooky and black. So I'm assuming that that's going to be the same result in that cylinder also. So that's very good news. Now there is a little bit of not so good news. If you look in there at this piston, you look at the top, the crown of this piston, if the camera is able to focus on it here. You see right there, you see how it's shiny and then it's not shiny, those black spots, that's where it's pitted the piston because it had water and corrosion in there, and it's ate the piston a little bit into the aluminum. But it's not down so far. It doesn't look like it's down alongside the piston to compromise the piston seal. And this one is a little bit the same as this first cylinder. It's a little bit sort of the same thing going on right there. But I was first going to say I was going to ignore it, but I'm going to try to save these pistons because I think I think the other cylinders, I'm going to show you those here in just a second, but I think this thing will clean up and run. As long as it hasn't done something bad to the crank or something, I think this is going to be a go, because these cylinders don't even have a ridge on them, and since we got that corrosion out of there and clean that up, I think with any luck, I'm thinking that a hone job and a new set of rings and have the block hot tanked and then put back together is going to do it. I tell you, things these days just weren't built like this. If you can get something like this to come back to life, it's amazing. But let's take a look at the other cylinders. I cleaned these out, but I've not put my actual magic potion in there. And you can see this is the number 1 cylinder, and it's got a little bit of a place down in there at the very bottom. And this one, I can see he's got another spot in it. That one, same thing. So the pistons mostly have all got that kind of a pitted appearance on them from the moisture. So I'll have to do some research. I'm gonna have to ask somebody on the Oldsmobile board, I guess, and see what they think about this and see if this can be used. I think it can. It may take taking a Dremel and kind of smoothing those piston crowns down as much as possible. I don't think it, I don't think it hurt anything. The only thing I could think of is that if you got sharp edges on the piston, it may cause it to spark knock more, or it may create a spot where it could start to burn the piston if you had the timing too far advanced. But I really don't. The price of new pistons for this thing, it's definitely worth saving them. So I'm gonna move forward with this. I'm not gonna try to turn it over again until I get those other cylinders cleaned up. I've got to go busy and work for a few days, so I'll let this sit. And in the meantime, I'm going to give this side a PB blaster bath again, and I'm going to soak those in the solution. I have to get more solution because I'm running pretty low on it. I'm liking that. Like I said, we get this thing apart all the way and hone it. We'll see. We could have found a crack down in the cylinder and stuff, but evidently it just got water down in it. That's all it happened to it. And I was looking at pictures on the internet. Retro Chad used to say the World Wide Web. I was looking at pictures on the World Wide Web, and I've seen some a lot worse than this one. So I think this can be saved. But that'll explain to you though why this could never have ran the way it was. It's just not possible. You just can't do that. So I know nobody likes to hear that when you say you'll have to take it apart and fix it when you got one stuck. I know everybody, if it doesn't just break loose real easy, nobody likes to hear that. But when it's set for this long, you got to take it apart. It's the best idea. Okay, let's do some more. Let's keep our fingers crossed. See you guys. All right then, so back to this. I had this engine all covered up because it was supposedly going to rain here, which it didn't, but I had it all covered up and stuff, so don't think that I left it exposed. But it looks like our solution has been working again. It's got that nice sludgy appearance, so I'm going to get that out of there. Still a little bit of surface rust on that. Don't worry about that at the moment. So I'm going to get that out of there here in a minute. And I thought first I'd just show you over here. I went over these cylinders with some this green Scotch-Brite type pad. And normally, if I was going to run this engine, I wouldn't have done that because I feel like those things are not good to have, or any kind of abrasive is not good to have down in the cylinders. But since we're going to take this thing on apart and just clean it up and everything and see what we can do with it that way, I'm not going to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and just use that to scuff it down. And I gave another coat of PB and let it soak. So you notice they've changed their label a little bit since the last can of this I bought since 1957. So okay, let me clean on those cylinders again, and I think I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to give them another Give them a scrub with a pad and then another PB blaster bath, and let them soak for a few, and then I think we're going to put the bar on this thing and see if we can get any movement out of it. There, right there. See that? See that bolt? Right there. That's where we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Alright. See you in a bit. So what do you guys say? You want to give this a shot and put the bar on this thing and see if, as the guys up north say, if it'll bar over? The cylinders on the driver's side over there, my solution might be getting a little bit weak because they came out pretty good, but there's still a couple rough spots on them. So that might be something that's going to be hard to get past. But mainly it's going to be now, it's just going to be a case of where the pistons are probably stuck to the sides of the cylinders and the rings are probably stuck to the cylinders. So if it moves, it's not going to move easy yet. So hey, let's try it. Okay, nothing yet. So you guys know how I like a plan B, so I've got a plan B. My plan B is I think I'm going to find a suitable piece of wood and use my big mini sledge. I think I'm going to carefully start trying to persuade some of these pistons to move down. So I'll bring you back on board with me here if we get something going with it. I'm not going to bore you with just sitting there watching me struggle with it. So hopefully we'll get some results that way. See you in a bit. You guys may think I'm full of it, but see there, a while back, the limb gets moved, the leaves get blown, and she magically comes out of the house. Told you, I told you. She's watching him work. Okay guys, we're not home free yet. I ain't got any movement out of this thing yet, so I'm gonna keep on with the PB and every other thing I can think of and keep working on it. We'll get there. Hey then, I made up another witch's brew concoction here, a magic potion. I ain't kidding, look at this stuff bubbling. So you can see it here. I don't want to focus too well, is it? Get it. It's the solution. See, look over there. It's working. Get my face out of here. That's let's see, that's a little bit of what I put in there? I put some gas, I put some transmission fluid, I put some carburetor cleaner, I put some rust eater. Look at that, boy, it's going to town right there. Bubble, bubble, toiling trouble. Cylinder boiling, cylinder bubble. The only thing that's working against me on this is that the damn cylinders that are at an angle, and I just cannot get them full. So there's a area that's not getting any. There's the mower going. Told you. I told you that shit wouldn't last when he got home. He's already been here. Bless Lyle's heart. He's already been here and drug that limb out while the occupant watched. Blew the leaves off the deck or the back porch. Started the truck to see if it's going to start. And now he's got the mower going. You may think I'm full of it, but I'm not. I know people. I know people. I know bullshitters. I know fakes. That's turning colors. Look what the solution looks like over here. Yeah, I tried beating on it and beating on it and beating on it. I couldn't get any movement out of it, so I feel like that part of the problem may be right here where there's gunk in this around these pistons. So I think I'm going to clean up my mess over here, and then I'm going to get a little small piece of wire and carefully try to get around that a little. These suckers are froze. Yeah, I like that. I like the way that looks right there. That means it's working. It's probably generated some highly toxic fumes that I'm breathing in, and I have to be hospitalized. Hope not. Alright, well. Okay guys, well, I guess right now it's just going to be a waiting game, so I can't wail on that bolt too much because snap it off, I got problems. So anyway, I guess I could hook the battery up and see if I can bump it with the starter too, so we may investigate that, even though the negative battery cable is no longer hooked up to the car. Anyway, we'll work on this. Keep your fingers crossed. See ya.